Hey guys, it's Rich. I wanted to do something a little different than what was previously scheduled for Wellness Wednesday because, well, things change. And I'm flexible like that, kind of. So I wanted to address a couple things that have been going on lately and give a little message that is akin to wellness. It's more about the mental and emotional wellness of ourselves. Without a doubt, most of you have probably heard of the Orlando shootings, and if you follow me on Twitter, you've heard of a friend of mine that died. His name was Steve. That he died about a day after the shootings, maybe a little over a day's worth of time. And I wanted to talk about acceptance. To give you guys a background of the reason that I want to talk about acceptance is because the people that were involved in the Orlando shooting, the victims, they were out having a nice time being who they were. They accepted themselves, and as far as recent news reports are going, they say that the shooter may have been a homosexual as well, or closeted, that he wasn't accepting of who he was, and that sparred the hate and the irrational thinking that he had. And then, like I said, about a day later, maybe a couple hours over a day, or what have you, then my friend Steve died. He and his husband have been together for 21 years. They have, no doubt, come up against people who did not accept them for who they were. And even though Steve was not really out there, he was more of a conservative person, but even though he wasn't out there to most people, you still knew where he stood. You still knew who the love of his life was, and he accepted himself. He and his partner Ken undoubtedly went through some very rough situations in life, and they've had plenty of joyous ones as well. But the underlying theme of this week seems to be going towards acceptance of self. And judging by Facebook, I just see a lot of people out there that are not willing to accept others, whether it be extreme Christians, extreme pagans, or extreme Muslims. They're not willing to accept others for who they are and what they believe. And this got me thinking about, do I accept who I am? I'm a big believer that the change comes from within, because if you do not seek within yourself, you shall surely not seek it without. I believe, if I'm quoting that correctly, is from the Reed. And if I am incorrect in the quotations, then I'm sorry about that. But the acceptance needs to come from within, is what my main point is with that. Am I accepting who I am as an individual, whether it be as a gay individual, as a straight individual, transgender, questioning, ally, bisexual individual? Am I willing to accept my place on this mortal coil and accept others with the respect? It's got me thinking a lot especially because of the death of my friend Steve, and also in respect to the Orlando shootings. Am I embracing who I am? Am I accepting it and embracing it? And even furthermore, Do I need to be one of those outspoken, flamboyant homosexuals? Or do I take the path of Steve? Like I said, Steve was a little bit more conservative in his ways. He was not he was not an outspoken man, but you knew where he stood. He was that quiet dignity to it all. Is that the path I take? Or do I take the path of an out and proud gay person and put it all over the social media out there? Or do I just be who I am and stay where I am? These are questions that I'm struggling with at this moment, and it really speaks to the message I want to get across here, and eventually I'll get to the point of accepting who I am. Do I fully accept who I am and where I am in life? Do I embrace it? And where do I go from here? Another thing that just popped into my mind was a speech given at Johnny Cash's memorial. I don't know if I've spoken too much on it, but I am an absolute fan of Johnny Cash and his daughter Roseanne Cash as well. And she gave a wonderful speech at his memorial. She said he would come to us and say, "Children, you have a choice to make today. You can either choose hate or you can choose love. What do you choose? I choose love." And in choosing love, do I also choose acceptance? And on top of those choices, the paths where it will lead, the troubles and tribulations that it may bring up, and the people I may or may not lose, accepting the consequences of my actions. Originally, I was thinking of doing this video on the grieving process that many of us are going through whenever somebody dies in your life or whenever there's mass casualties of any nature. We find ourselves reflecting upon ourselves, and we ask ourselves, where do we go from here? And for me, that was acceptance. So where do you go from here? It is definitely a part of the wellness factor, the emotional wellness, our mental wellness. Where do you go from here? No one else can make the decision but you. So, with all that being said, I have some questions for you guys to answer, at least to yourselves. What in my life needs to be accepted, and am I willing to accept it? Who am I in these times? Where do I fall whenever it comes to any type of tragedy in my life? Do I continue to be who I am? Or is this tragedy going to change something within me? Is it something that I need to change, that I know I've needed to change for a while? And is now the time to change it? And number 3, and I'll leave you with this one. You can choose hate or you can choose love. Which one do you choose? I choose love hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and subscribe. If you have not been to Christo-Paganism.com, go ahead and go there, where I share some articles, I share some thoughts, feelings. Visit the prayer and praises section if you would like to leave a prayer request or a praise that something good is happening in your life, as we can all rejoice in the good things in life. Also, go ahead and visit the shop that keeps the website up and running. And if you would like to stalk me or know what's going on in my daily life, or you want to see some inspirational quotes or retweets of some blogs that I have found or have been shared with me, go ahead and go to my Twitter page by clicking here. I'll see you all next time. Until then, have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.